Welcome back, true believers and all you spectacular Spidey fans, to another very exciting episode of Marvel's Spider-Man 101. And man, have I missed saying that. Now, in case you missed it, at the time of this recording on June 2nd, today was the official presentation of the brand new PlayStation State of Play, which is also officially part of the Summer Game Fest hosted by Jeff Keighley. And while it was a fairly interesting presentation, considering all the brand new material that was showcased, none of you should have gone in expecting any major footage pertaining to Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Marvel's Wolverine, or any other of the first-party PlayStation Studios games that are currently in development. Considering that PlayStation highlighted ahead of time that this state of play would only be going over third-party titles and upcoming projects in development for the PlayStation VR 2, which is mainly why this brand new announcement relating to Marvel's Spider-Man is such a shock in the grand scheme of things. Because it was announced by Insomniac Games and Nixie Software during this state of play that Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered is officially coming to PC on August 12th of 2022. Now, even though I personally do not own a gaming PC for myself, and in fact I am mainly a console gamer first and foremost, I still think that this is a major win for anyone who primarily plays on PC. And even more so for all the Spidey fans out there who may have not yet played Marvel's Spider-Man either on the PS4 or PS5 and are now finally able to play the game at the best possible settings imaginable, fully running on PC hardware. But on the flip side, I do find this announcement rather shocking considering that Spider-Man is essentially Sony's golden boy. And now having the ability to fully play through this game on PC is something that I didn't think was going to happen, especially knowing how big of a system seller Marvel's Spider-Man was for the PlayStation 4 back in 2018. And the same thing for Miles Morales on the PlayStation 5 in 2020. And I don't know about any of you guys, but I know for an absolute fact that the modding community on PC is going to go absolutely buck wild by the time Spider-Man releases in August. Which makes me even more confused as to why Sony would decide to put Spider-Man on PC, mainly knowing that one of the main mods I can already see happening is likely going to be revisualizing the main face of Peter Parker from Ben Jordan, who is the current face model of Peter in the PS5 remaster, back to the original version of John Bubniak, which in my opinion is still the go-to visual aesthetic for Peter Parker within the Marvel Spider-Man universe. But I guess we're just gonna have to cross that bridge at another time. But regardless, it's still great that more people are finally going to be able to play this game as well as Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales on PC within this year in 2022. Because if you missed it, we didn't just receive that short trailer for Marvel's Spider-Man on PC during that state of play. Thanks to traditional Insomniac fashion, they went on to fully go over everything that you need to know about Spider-Man on PC in their latest PlayStation blog post, which was fully written by Ryan Schneider at Insomniac Games, who is the head of franchise strategy and studio relations, and in fact is someone that I was able to personally interview during the Game Developers Conference in 2018, which if you haven't seen already, I will be sure to leave a link to it in the description below. Coming from me personally, Ryan is straight up awesome, and hearing him be able to fully dive into Marvel's Spider-Man once again is just straight up wonderful. And while there is a lot of information about the PC version of Spider-Man, the article actually begins with some very important and extremely exciting financial details relating to the sales statistics of the Marvel Spider-Man series. Because as Ryan indicates is that before we further discuss the PC versions of each game, I'd like to pause and express Insomniac's profound gratitude for those of you reading this post who have already purchased and played the PlayStation console versions of Marvel's Spider-Man and Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. Let me tell you, there are a lot of folks to thank for your passionate support. And with that in mind, I am both ecstatic and humbled to share that the Marvel Spider-Man series now has sold through more than 33 million copies globally as of May 15th, 2022. And just to put that into a better perspective is that this officially makes Marvel's Spider-Man on PlayStation 4 not only the highest selling superhero game of all time, which is also a complete console exclusive on the PS4 platform, but it also makes the entirety of the Marvel Spider-Man franchise as it currently stands right now, without the release of Marvel Spider-Man 2, the most financially successful superhero gaming franchise of all time. And again, seeing how far Insomniac have come ever since the main release of Spider-Man PS4 in 2018 up to now is just absolutely mind-blowing, and I for one couldn't be happier for them. Now, as the article continues, it does state that they will further dive into the overall PC specs of the game at another time. And as Ryan goes on to state, look at that gorgeous footage. That's just a tiny sample of what to expect in Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered on PC. Wait until you get your hands on the sticks, or mouse and keyboard. Feature confirmed. Of course, you can count on additional standard PC specific features such as adjustable render settings and ray traced reflections, with more features and details to be announced later. We're grateful to our PlayStation Studios partner studio Nixie Software for fully optimizing Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered and Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales for PC. Our production team has been thrilled with Nixie's collaborative spirit and commitment to quality. We see a lot of ourselves when working with Nixies. We asked Jurgen Katzman, who is the Nixies founder and senior director of development, if he'd like to share a few words about the game's PC development journey, and this is what he had to say. And coming from Katzman himself, I am extremely pleased with our collaboration with Insomniac on the Marvel Spider-Man series. The shared support provided between our teams and their dedication to quality above all is inspiring. It allows our team to leverage our technical expertise and focus on creating the best possible PC experience that takes advantage of all the exciting possibilities the PC platform has to offer. Our team has always been big fans of the work from Insomniac, and partnering with them to bring Marvel Spider-Man Remastered and Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales to PC in the best way we can is something we are incredibly excited about. So we already know that Marvel Spider-Man Remastered on PC is arriving on August 12th of 2022, but here Insomniac clarifies exactly when you can expect Miles Morales to release on PC as well. We will have more details to share about both Marvel Spider-Man PC games as we approach their respective launches. For now, we can reveal that Marvel Spider-Man Remastered will launch on PC on August 12th, 2022, while Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales will launch on PC in fall of 2022. And after reading everything that Ryan had to say, I definitely think that there are 2 to 3 very important factors that we can take away from all this news. For starters, is that it was pretty much highlighted a while ago from PlayStation themselves that they were planning to release all of their main first-party games, not just on the PlayStation consoles, but also later onto PC, which we have seen recently with Horizon Zero Dawn and the 2018 version of God of War. Which might mean that sometime later on after their game's releases is that Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and Marvel's Wolverine might also end up releasing on PC sometime after they launch initially on the PS5. And the second factor that we can take away from this actually directly relates to Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Considering that this state of play was mainly focusing around third-party and VR2 projects, and now knowing that Insomniac is planning to release Miles Morales on PC in the fall of this year, I definitely think that the next time that we can expect to see more footage and or news relating to Marvel's Spider-Man 2 might also end up being in the fall of this year. In all likelihood, I definitely think that Sony is planning for another major PlayStation showcase sometime this fall, mainly in the month of September, considering that's when the last one took place, to fully showcase all of their major first-party games currently in development and the ones that are going to release relatively soon, like God of War Ragnarok. So having a brand new PlayStation showcase planned to release sometime later in the fall to not only promote Marvel Spider-Man 2, but also the release of Miles Morales coming to PC would be great synergy coming from PlayStation's marketing team. However, this hasn't been officially confirmed just yet, and that is purely speculation on my part, but I don't think it's all that far-fetched when you stop and think about it. But nonetheless, this was a total surprise announcement coming from today's State of Play, and I for one just can't wait to see what Insomniac has up their sleeves next. And with all that said, everybody, that's the video that I have for you today, and please let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think of Marvel Spider-Man Remastered and Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales coming to PC later this year? Do you think that the game should have remained a complete PlayStation exclusive, or are you happy that they're now going to reach a wider audience with the PC crowd? Let me know what you think. Be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you did enjoy, and for more Marvel Spider-Man videos like this in the future. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, true believers, stay spectacular, Spidey fans, and peace out.